The following video was pre-recorded on twitch.tv/codedman9000. More information on the stream times at the end of the video. Previously on Stone to Space.
For the start of Chapter 3, we went to Kerbal Space Program to learn how to make rockets so that we could explore the stars for a new home. We began playing on career mode while not knowing anything about what we were doing. After doing some research off-stream, we then moved to the science mode with newfound knowledge. We went to both moons, created communication networks, planes, science missions, a space station, and then ended the game by traveling all the way to Duna in the Antari ship.
After arriving at Duna, our ship the Antares fell apart, causing us to land on Duna and mine its resources so that we could fix the Antari ship. We unlocked various buildings, and also different types of science. After fixing everything but scanners on the ship, we then left the planet behind us as we continued to travel in space. Partially during our space flight, we landed on an asteroid. Over the course of a few hundred cycles, we had mined out the asteroid, converting its resources into various things that we needed in order to keep 24 dupes alive. We made a lot of automated machines to take, cool, or convert items into other items. We then turned on a machine that would allow us to take a dive into the dreams of one of our dupes. After our first dupe dream in Vintage Story, we came back to Oxygen Not Included. We then used our rockets to go to different asteroids. We went to a water-filled asteroid, a lava-filled asteroid, and we also went to a frozen asteroid to get our final crop. After going back and forth multiple times from the water and lava asteroids, we made our last and final endgame materials. While doing this, we also finished upgrading our main base, and also found both the Temporal Tear Opener and the Temporal Tear. After our second dupe dream in Timberborn, we came back to Oxygen Not Included again. We spent a while trying to get enough radiation to use the Temporal Tear Opener the wrong way, before ending up using Weaselworts. We spent time digging out more of the second asteroid, before finally using the Temporal Tear Opener and sending our first rocket of 4 dupes through the Temporal Tear. After our first rocket of 4 dupes went through the Temporal Tear, they ended up in an unexpected place. They found themselves on a frozen asteroid with new plants, crops, and 3 new critters. We spent time building a self-sustaining base and found out that if ranched correctly, each of the 3 critters fed into the next either by creating food for the next critter or food for the next critter's food source. We then radioed to our original colony to tell them where we ended up so that they could change the destination of the next rocket. Hello and welcome to a Twitch Plays Along series called Stone to Space. Today we're in Chapter 3, Space Travel. Today we are playing Oxygen Not Included. So, in the last stream, we started digging all the way down to the bottom. We started digging a little bit up top. We found space. We started doing mealwood. The mealwood is going to be turned into lice loaf, which is then turned into the sushi roll mixed with our nori that we're getting from these plants, the tower kelps, and the fish fillet that we're getting from, of course, the beacons. That should give us a very high range food. We are apparently not emptying out that one pipe. Oh, right, because our dupe that is for emptying cannot do that. Would it be worth me just bringing it over here? It might be. Let me connect this back in. That should bring this over, and then if I can time it right, I can get it stuck on here where they can go on this ladder and get it. Let's stop right there and hope that it doesn't jump over one. Okay, next thing I need to do is make sure that deconstruct is on buildings only so I don't actually deconstruct the wrong thing. And do that. So here comes Ruby. We can then deconstruct all of these. And all of these. I do have a plan for today's stream. Something that we noticed in the last stream is that, one, our corals were making way too much oxygen. I did not know that the coral plants continuously make oxygen, although we can see right here that it is not stopping. The coral plants take light, turn it into oxygen, and they do not stop if they still have oxygen, or if they still have light being given to them. So our dupes are ever so occasionally getting very high stretch stress from popped eardrums, and that is due to our entire asteroid being over 10 kilograms in most places of oxygen. So we have the lights over here turned off until up here is below 10 kilograms of oxygen. That is also why we're having pressure issues with these mealwood, due to the mealwood having more than 10 kilograms of oxygen. This will tell it to go down below 1,000. I'm actually going to set this to being 1,800, because that is when most things will stop off-gassing. If you have a piece of polluted dirt within a packet or tile of 1,800 grams of oxygen, the polluted dirt will not off-gas polluted oxygen. Anything below 1,800, it will off-gas. We have a lot of coral. I think we're at the point where we just start rejecting everything, because we don't need oxyfern seeds, although it would be useful for getting rid of the carbon dioxide. I'm actually going to take it. What do we need to ranch that? I can't tell there. I'll have to place... We'll do a temporary tile right there for this. The next thing, as you can see here on the mealwood, is that it also won't grow due to body temperature. A majority of our base is now above 30 degrees. It is getting warm in here. So we are going to be doing a cooling loop where we just have water without a device to cool the water, to go into a cold biome and just use the biome for chill and then bring it back. So it's going to be an infinite loop of just a liquid, which is probably going to be directional with just a bridge showing it which direction to go to. We're obviously going to have to fill it with a pump, but afterwards it's just going to be a loop that's not powered by an aqua tuner or anything else to chill it. I'm going to start with this small biome because it's the smallest. We'll then come over here and use this biome, and then we'll come way down here and use this entire biome. I am hoping that this B biome is slowly cooling down this polluted water so that that will eventually turn into polluted ice. Is it called polluted ice? I feel like it's not called polluted ice. Trying to look for it, but I think everything that was polluted water has called out. I actually don't think there's polluted water in this biome anymore. Like, I don't think it comes with the biome, and I'm looking at everything. Unless it all melted, which is probably what happened. Another thing that we're going to go through is coming down here from the right side of this area and getting these snails. We're going to start ranching them again. We do need to apply mucin to this entire area here on the bottom. So I need to find a way to get small bottles of this. And I think what I'm going to do is first relocate this over to here. We're then going to do the pedestal trick, which we need to unlock. So let's come all the way down here, and somewhere in here should be the pedestal. We have it, so it's probably in furniture. It is. I'm going to do a... Do I do 4 pedestals just to cover the entire area? I think I will, just so we don't have to wait as long. We'll do that. Let's do duplicate skills to make sure that everyone is where they should be. The people that have 3 points are original 3 duplicates. They are all maxed out in what they're going to do. They're 1 interest, carrying capacity 2, and dive master. And then, just to make sure, Ranak did already say that it just needs dirt and water, which is correct. Do I need to pipe it in, or is it just easier to pipe it in? I think it's just easier if I pipe it in. We're not going to pipe it in. I am going to deconstruct that, and then I'm going to build a... Oh, I didn't check to see the temperature that it lives at. I just click on you, go into here. Because we do have to worry about the temperature. 0 to 40 degrees. So it'll survive up here. It won't survive down here in the cold biome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig into here. And that's where we're going to build the tiles. We have this. I want to do liquid mucin. Liquid mucin. Oops, didn't click select. We got a tutorial on food safety out of nowhere for some reason. And now we're going to remove all of these. This is just so that I didn't have to use this entire bottle. I'm going to relocate all of them. And then I'm going to deconstruct all these. If we empty each bottle, it shouldn't make a mess. The mucin doesn't really flow horizontally, it flows vertically. It's like a visco gel. So I knew that it wasn't going to flow sideways. But we need this set up so that our snails don't die. Now hopefully when the snails create the mucin, it does flow over here to the liquid pump, but I don't know if it will. It's gonna have to be something that we worry about later on. Anyway, I probably should kill off a few of these beacons. If I just click on one, I don't know. Critter metabolism. I don't know how to make them not survive. I think what I'm going to do is create a small area over here with a little bit of liquid where they're going to flop around. We'll have to reroute the chute over to here. Because I think it's not going to become hungry if it's not in a liquid. Because otherwise this calorie thing would be going down, right? If I click on one that is alive. Yeah, it is going down only when they're swimming. So up here, they're not going to die from hunger. And we are getting pretty low on our food. We have about 2 cycles of food left. I don't think we need a lot of water, probably just 2 bottles worth. We'll do salt water just because it's the thing that we have the most. And I'm going to cut that off. As well as that. And then after this bottle, that should be good enough. I don't think we need a large amount of liquid in here for them to swim around in. You know, just in case, let's do 2 more bottles. Let's get this up to 800 kilograms. Let's try to make it as full as we can without going over. There is an Electabuzz in chat if anyone wants it. Deconstruct that. So now all the new beacons are going to go over there. I'm gonna wait a little bit because we are getting a small amount of food somehow. That should probably go into consumables. Make sure no one eats mealwood. Or meal lice. No one eats the lice loaf. Now that we have a little bit of lice loaf, and what is this? That's mucin, okay. We're gonna start doing the sushi rolls. I should probably have all this on a 7 so that it's done immediately. This should no longer have fish fillets, good. This has the nori. Since it is technically a ingredient, I am going to also put lice loaf here. We're about to make our first piece of food. Our first is sushi roll. Look at that. Okay, then over here we put spicy tofu, squash fries, sushi roll. Those are all 3 things that should have been in here from the beginning, and I forgot to do that a while ago. We also still have a lot of mussel tongue. Oh, cool. We fed a couple tubes with it. Oh, that somebody may have gotten us go. Okay, down here they did put these in. So let's get the oxyferns and plant them down here. Put them on a 7, even though they're not a crop. I want to make sure that we have them getting done very quickly. I also want to mop that little piece of liquid up so that we can make sure to get the oxygen out of here and the carbon dioxide in. Otherwise, we're just going to have oxygen being created, and then when it goes out, it's going to not mix with the gases easily. And this should make sure that the carbon dioxide doesn't, you know, travel too far up into our base. Oh, Ruby, you are so slow. I should probably make a dropping station out here. So as you can see, the duplicants walk very slowly coming down here, and then they're going to drop stuff, and they're going to continue dropping stuff. And if they get all the way up here and then they drop it, they have to walk all the way back down and go back and up. Sometimes it stops them from being able to grab everything. So the first step I'm going to do is put a pole in. But I'm going to stop there because we want to cut off half of this. I'm going to choose this spot for being a floor. So we're going to chop off that all the way down to right there. Tile there. 2 tiles here, but I want to make sure that the ladder doesn't get cut off. We're going to put in a new ladder right next to this one. Once they put that in, then we're going to deconstruct this entire ladder between those 2 tiles and turn that into either a tile at the floor level or ladders in between the 2 floors. This will mean that they only have to pick up the debris and bring it up to here and then get on the next pole. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I may need to move this over 2 tiles if we're going to use the poles. Or I'm just going to the wrong side. Let's do 2 tiles rather than this. So if I go across over here, We'll cancel all of that and turn that into the fireball. So this is the vision. And then I want to make sure that liquids go past this, so I'm going to do this and that. And then what I probably should also do is get rid of that and that. Make them mesh tiles instead, so that liquids can go through them. And I'll let that be. And then these oxyferns should get rid of all the carbon dioxide. We're not really making a lot. Alright, next thing, another one of these. We're gonna reject all of them because we don't need the coral seeds. We have too many corals in here for us to need them. And I need to figure out how we're gonna get in here with all of these liquids. I also want to get rid of this 84.6 kilograms of pearl. We don't need to look at this anymore. We will still need to look at Slago eggs because I want to make sure that we get them. How are we going to do cooling in this area? I think the first step is to rearrange how we're doing the bathrooms, which wouldn't take too long. If they build all those pipes, we can easily just change things around. I have one more pipe to do. I'm gonna pause right here because it's gonna be a lot of wonky things. That gets chopped, that gets chopped, that gets chopped. This gets deconstructed. This gets deconstructed, so does that. And then we have to connect this together. Cut off here, cut off here. This now means that clean water is going to come around here and go up this way through the wall. Polluted water is going to come over this way and then go down. And then go left. That now means that we can use this top ceiling tile for the cooling loop. Then all of this should come down here. Especially if I go like this. And then reconnect this. And we get rid of those two pipes. Now that clean water should just get replaced into here, which it did. And then we just have to wait a tiny amount of time for them to fill in 3 pipes before it becomes overflow again. Okay, we're now getting the eggs over here again. I wonder if there's a way to only kill off the adults. I don't think there is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait and make sure that there's no eggs in there before I do a kill order. because I don't want to kill the fries. Is there a way for me to search for beacons? Just beacon egg. Can I only kill adults? No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, so we'll wait a little longer for that. I heard a noise that I don't like, but I don't see any issues going on. They're pretty much done this, so let's get rid of this entire ladder. And this can actually turn into a tile. Alright, what our first priority should be is getting our cooling group. And I built this so I can get rid of 34.6. This is kilograms. Am I looking at kilograms on the right side? Pearl? Yes, I am. Oh, we can't do 0.6. We're gonna have to do this the opposite way, where I put 900 in here instead. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna feed the extra pearl amount that's not 100 kilograms to this sea queen, and then I'm gonna release it. The first step should be to get in there, so we'll do that. Hopefully it doesn't get out. They'll probably start filling that chest in after we finish all this. So now anything that gets dropped down here, they can pick it up, bring it to here, and then drop it before they go up further. And the same thing over here. Anything that they drop from up here should go to this, or if it's in this tile, it goes all the way down to this, and it doesn't fall all the way down. That'll help us as we go further into the bottom of the base. Okay, that is the extra 900, so I want to go here. Relocate this small amount of pearls to right here. And then we should have the correct amount. So every time you get a pearl from the clam plums, it's always going to be 100 kilograms. The reason why we have less than 100 is because we had a seahorse in here that ate part of a pearl before. So we're going to feed it so that we get rid of that extra little bit. And only when I see this above 900, like above 1,000 kilograms, will I change this to being 1,000 to make sure that this critter still eats the remaining 19 kilograms of pearl. Anyway. One thing I want to do is try and get all this polluted water out of here, but I don't think there's an easy way to do that. We can, of course, make it all one area. That would probably be the first thing to do. Let's dig this area out a little bit. Then I want to dig into here. We're going to combine that into our remaining area. Good luck, Gino. Oh, it says ceiling collapse when the water goes down. That's smart in a game mechanic way. I would really like somebody to build this one ladder, though. Ruby was coming with it. Okay. Skills. Still nobody else with a new skill. So now both of these are combined. And then the next thing I want to do is to get down into here. And the sequin got out because there's so much water here. Not what I wanted to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a tile right here. And I'm going to tell them to relocate the sequin over here. So now it can't get out and it has to eat that pearl. And only that amount of pearl. And that bloater is just going to keep giving that. We're getting oxygen there. What does it eat? Lettuce and waterweed. Oh, it has lettuce here. Yeah, we're gonna kill this so that it doesn't keep eating waterweed. I should probably do the same to the remainder of these bloaters. Is that a baby bloater? Yes, it is. I won't kill the baby. Oh, that's cool. They become bloated and turn upside down when they get killed. Nice attention to detail there. New thing? Orehole spawn. We could start ranching them without having to do anything. Meaning I could just have them flop down into here. They do eat these, though. They eat kelp holes and excrete polluted mud. They can be sheared for iron ore. So that's our secondary iron source aside from all the iron ore that's around the area. So I'm gonna say we just ignore this. And what we're going to be doing next is moving all this liquid out of here. Let's dig those two tiles. That should move the salt water down here first. Wonderful. It is moving all the salt water down there. Alright, so now the salt water should get destroyed. Fluid water should move upwards and not be destroyed if we do this correctly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push all this salt water back out here. This tower kelp is probably going to die. Because I want to get this full so that these can grow as high as they can. What do these need in order to be ranched? Nothing? Really? That can't be right. Polluted dirt and polluted water. Oh, so the polluted dirt from the turtles can be used to grow the food for the turtles. Makes sense. What about polluted water? Do we have a polluted water geyser? Polluted brine vent? Well, that's not polluted water. Did it say polluted brine or polluted water? Oh, that was said polluted water. How do we get polluted water very easily? Oh! Polluted brine. And mucin. We'll probably do the polluted brine system. Anyway, let's keep bringing this up. If I'm correct, those two tiles should raise the water level here. We're gonna end up killing off this tower gull. We do have a lot of polluted water around the base. We also have a farm building over here. I think we'll dig around this. I'm going to sweep up everything but the pearl so that I can see the pearl a little bit easier. And then I think I'm just gonna break or dig up this pearl. Just so that we don't keep getting this thing eating half a pearl or something. I'm gonna bring this pole down a little bit. Who's starving? Ruby. We are quite low on food now that I see it. That's not going to be much help, but we do have fish fillet. Why are we not? Because we're using that. Okay. So what is our cook doing? Cook is high prioritized in cooking. Okay, so the three dupes that have a priority are doing their priority. This just has a lot of nori. It might be useful to have a freezer on this colony. Just to put the ingredients into. I don't know. On one hand, I want more food being produced. On the other hand, I also don't want to go through all the trouble of trying to do that. I'd rather be focused on how we're getting through here. Now, I don't know if that polluted water is going to move or not. It did, but then it got destroyed. Oh, there's 2 blowtors in here. 3 blowtors. 4! They must all get, all gave eggs before they died. Is there a plant here? No, there's not. So if I open that up, this salt water will be part of the pool again. Wait. I don't want to get rid of that plant, whatever it is. That water weed that was entombed. I did that so that we can do pipes through here fairly easily. Moving around the area is a different story, but let's do that. This. I want to make sure that we don't accidentally break something if I do an accidental dig command. And I'll try to keep this for as much as I can, or as long as I can, I mean. I'll even dig that out so it can go a little bit further. Regular pot again. Do we want the sweet lover? Probably not. We don't have a sulfur supply over here. There's a Wigglytuff in chat if anyone's that genuine Pokemon. So these critters should start losing calories probably when they grow into an adult. Probably not going to happen now. All the eggs in here have hatched, but I do still see some baby beacons. Let's kill a couple more beacons. Fish fillet, excellent food. I should probably tell them they can eat fish fillets. What's the easiest way to get in here? So I could probably just dig right through here. Although I should probably go a little bit down so that overpressurization doesn't break through this. Let's go like this. That will get rid of that one plant, but that's just a decoration plant. Ruby, do you have another skill yet? You do. I think I need to get you into basic swimming. So you can at least do this a little bit quicker. Okay, so what I'm going to do instead of where I was originally going to dig, we're going to go like this. That'll get us in there. We're going to deconstruct those 4 tiles and build ladders all the way down to there. Like that, with a dig command right there. I'm going to keep bringing this over until we get to the point where this floor is higher than the water. And we need to put consumables in for... I queue up 10 fish fillet? Because I should be able to eat fish fillet. Or cooked seafood, I mean. They can. I just wasn't cooking the cooked seafood. I might want to move Yap to the outside so that the dupes aren't getting bright-eyed when Yap comes in. I'm gonna do that now, actually. Ruby can go nowhere for a moment. Yep. Ruby can go here. Nicola goes here. Yalp goes on the outside. So they can walk past him and then go to sleep, and they won't get their bright eye thing. And then Yalp should not be able to get in here. Not allowed in there. Oh, but it probably... Oh, it's not up here either. Okay, I don't know. We should now be making a few things of cooked seafood. Yap, where are you going? Yap, supposed to be eating. You're at half a cycle worth of food. Go take some cooked seafood. There was food on the floor. I don't know why Yelp didn't just take the food that's right there. That was weird. Maybe it's queued up to be used? I don't know. What I do know is that this little bit of mucin needs to be moved here. We've gone up to the point where this is now on that second tile, but what I want to do is make it even higher. Let's go like that. And then I might have to build tiles in here to get rid of the carbon dioxide that's in here. Not too sure what's going to happen when they get pushed over. It should get pushed over to the point where it's polluted oxygen and carbon dioxide in these two tiles, and I just have to build there, and then the liquids will fill in. And on second thought of the stuff down here, I'm actually going to build tiles right there. I want to break this open so that it's 2 tiles wide. Which will mean that I have to build this up to this level as well. I'm going to take Nori off of here so that we can fill in more stuff there of the different ingredient types. Next thing I want to see is that Yop does not wake up anyone up here when they go to use the bathroom. So this worked. And then by the time that Yelp wakes up, they should go up here to use the bathroom. Somebody made a mess, but why? Oh, it's this that they're not allowed in. Luckily, polluted water stays on the top of salt water. I'm hoping that I can at least move the salt water that's there. Now this looks like it has no... Oh baby, I don't know where the polluted water went. Can I see it in this? No. That polluted water just disappeared. So that's ready to be completely killed off. And then they should all be being put in here. The fish fillets. Next thing I want to do is probably have to do some research. Yep. I want to get the deodorizer in here so we can stop the polluted oxygen from escaping this area. Which means that I actually want that to be one of these. We have quite a bit of fish fillets. I think we should queue up another 20 of these. Let's take the sandstone. Now they should be able to do this build from over here. I'm not sure why they haven't done it yet. But I want that done so that the polluted mud doesn't get interrupted here. We're getting down to 8,000 kilograms. Or 8,000 grams of oxygen, I mean. And just as I was hoping, the two gases got mixed into here. So if we build 2,000 and deconstruct them later on, that will get filled in with the polluted water. And then we only have to worry about the gases in here. Which, if I further build into this area, by placing in tiles here, the only places it will off-gas is right here. I'm actually going to dig that out just to make sure that we can get through here easily. And right here. We now have an extra tree seed. Can I have somebody do this, please? Doesn't no one's able to do it. Let's cancel the bill and then replace it and see if that changes everything. It does, okay. It was glitched. So now these should be dying off. Or does it need a bigger room for it to swim in? No, it's definitely getting hungry. You know what, let's make a small swim room for them to starve in. Welcome in, Oz! And TSGPL, welcome in! I just happened to check chat. So here's the hydrate for TSGPL. And congrats, Willow, on keeping a 5-stream streak. Did I say Willow or did I say Oz? Sorry, I don't know why I said Willow. I thought about it because I was like, wait a minute, did I just say the wrong name? I think it's because I still have Willow on a, another tab. Someone was checking chat on the overlay. I saw her name for a split second. I don't know. Will it cause you gecko all the time? Oh no. Why didn't they do this yet? It's doing that thing again. You know what? Oh, no, no. Okay, so we can actually deconstruct this. That'll let the gases exchange a little bit quicker. And I'm going to build a tile right here. Just to make sure we don't accidentally release this liquid into this area. Okay, we are gonna have to move this because I need to put a bottle emptier in there. Pick up all that stuff. And that. And I suppose let's just clean out this entire area down here. That is a lot of carbon dioxide that for some reason didn't go down this way. How are you not able to get water? Okay, put one of them over here then. I suppose it's time for us to figure out how we're gonna get all the liquid back into here. This was a pretty large basin of liquid earlier, and when we dug into here, we released all the liquid. I might start doing a liquid infinite source. This should be able to get at the water. It can, so we can go back to feeding our plants down here so they can continue to get rid of the carbon dioxide that's pulling in that area. We were also trying to get rid of the water that's in here, or at least move it over. Did we finish the research? No, because we probably ran out of water and had to wait. This, we can go over here. Only I'm going to add this to being a ton. And deconstruct this. I don't want them to pick that up, but they're probably going to pick that up. Does it already have 1,000? It does. Nice. And this critter just ate a little bit, but not the entire thing. Okay. We'll break into there. We can put this right here. So there's no more salt water. I'm trying to make a way for them to drop their calories as fast as these guys are. Don't know if it's going to work out or not. We did get to the point where this should be filling it with a little bit of oxygen as they're digging more. Well, of course, going to take the spicy tofu. And we have the research done. So the mechanized door, we also have the breathing station. Provides breathable oxygen to duplicants in suffocating environments via a connected gas pipe. That is pretty cool. We have the carbon skimmer to get rid of carbon dioxide. The deodorizer is the thing that we care about the most to get rid of all this polluted oxygen. And we still haven't raised this enough for it to overflow. Let's also put some poles over here on this side. Try and make this look a little bit more pretty. The oxygen is definitely slowly coming in here. And we finally broke into the cold area. So I need to figure out how we're going to cool in this space. Let's check this vent again and make sure that it's not something that would overheat the area if I dig into it. It would heat up the area. But I pretty much just want to build a pipe that comes in, not that one, and just goes around this area. I'm trying not to take out nosh beans in my way. But it'd pretty much be this. Let's grab some ladders. And like this, and then I guess go straight across here. And maybe just 2 tiles there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I won't be able to grab that top layer. We will be able to grab most of this. One, 2, 3, 4. Right there. And then I need to find something that I can turn into. We could do all the aluminum. What I should probably do is the iron so we can update our power lines. That is going to mean that I need to dig back into these. We'll worry about that in the future. trying to make ways to get the nosh beans in here as a secondary food source. That shouldn't uncork this. Once we have all this built, I'm actually going to put a door here. I don't know why I'm trying to get stuff in the nosh beans. Because I want to keep the temperature from escaping. And it's already warming up pretty quickly. I don't want that off-gassing. You don't have a place for reed fiber? Get all that mopped up or swept up, and placing in these tiles should make this pop up to here, which means it'll overflow and come into this pool. Which we can slowly dig out more and more of as we go. Beta poof seed. Oh, it's a plant. Okay. Here we have some iron. So let's try and make a liquid lock over here that we can get into both of these from. We'll just do this for now. And we'll have to do that. So that I could place one of these right here. Meanwhile, we're going to be making iron, which will very quickly warm up this area. I should probably keep an eye on our zinc ore. We have a lot of it now, but I may end up using a lot of it just fixing things. Apparently I can't grab that, so let's go into here. These two I should be able to do from right here. This one I can't do from there. I have to do it from the left side. I'm hoping that if I dig that out, they can jump up here and build it. Do I have insulated tiles? I do not. Let's do that research. Don't know where it is exactly. I have a feeling they're in gases. They are. Which food do we have? We have a couple sushi rolls. We have cooked seafood. We should be okay for a little bit longer. Who is trapped? Bulbasaur, what are you doing? Why would you do that? Bulbasaur, you're going to place that in and you're going to move up here before you build that. Thank you. Now what I could have done is use the liquid that's below us. I think I might actually do that. I don't know why I'm doing it by this way. You guys won't be able to get in there, so let's deconstruct this. Hopefully this makes sense in the future. This should be the quicker way than doing bottles. I think the quickest way would be to use a pump, but we're not going to do the pump either. Okay, we now have insulated tiles along with all the other temperature regulation things. We'll take the rubber boots, just have an extra pair. I don't think we need the rubber boots. We can make a few of these now. We do have the seeds. Although this takes only seed. You know what? We're going to do it anyway. We won't be able to do it often enough to, you know, warrant needing it every day, but... There's Nosh Bean and Salty Sticks. Calamari we haven't gone into yet. We're still trying to do this, but they don't have a lot of oxygen to breathe in over here. That's our main drawback for this area. There's a little bit of water over here. How did salt water get in there? Oh, probably from this area. Is this producing enough water to bubble over this? Not anymore, at least. You're dropping off the water. That's different. That's still doing salt water. I should dig into here now. Let's make sure that we can move around in there. If I were to dig this out, we wouldn't have been able to get our dupes out of here afterwards, I don't think. Okay, over here is almost where I want it. You know, I didn't think of how we're going to get into this. I should probably make a double liquid lock. Don't know if I have enough liquid for that, but we're going to see. No, we should cancel this. Build that tile first, then build that. And then this should be the top, so I want to dig into here. I promise this will eventually make sense. I'm surprised that they haven't come over here though to finish this. Our pressure is under 8 kilograms. With them being able to move around, they should be losing their calories faster, but it doesn't look like it. Why is that an unreachable dig? I guess it's only reachable if they can get in there from this tile. I don't know. I'm gonna let them sit on that. Alright, over here we want this to be the bottom of our liquid lock, so I want to do tiles there. I'm gonna build the roof on this. Trying to make sure that the water in here doesn't come out as we do this. But I also need to make a ladder in here from the middle. So if I do a tile here, that would be the liquid lock. Over here would be the next one. So I still need to break those. And then These tiles can go. These tiles can go. Or wait. So I want it to be in line with this. What is the midpoint? I actually want this to be the tile in the middle. Which means those have to be 2 tiles. And then I really only have to deconstruct those 2 in the middle. Alright, we have a little extra water in here. That's not too much. Too bad of an issue here. If anything, that'll just help us keep a liquid lock. Which we could actually just go like this instead. Now this side is going to end up going in here, which may be a problem, so I'm going to build a tile there. Just to hopefully keep this liquid away from that side. And then we're going to have to build a cap on this side. There's a little net, bring this up more. We'll take that out because we have to put a tile there. And then that's the roof here. Should be able to deconstruct everything in here to get into this, and then I'm going to deconstruct way down to here. And actually don't need to deconstruct those 3 tiles. Now something I should have done before I did all this is renovate all this. But we'll focus on one thing. Over the other. Let's put a tile right here. Because the same thing that's happening on this side is going to happen over here. Good luck, Gino, in catching that Pokemon. I don't even have to research for the conductive wires done. All this prep and we didn't get the conductive wires. Luckily for this side, it's going to be a little bit easier to do a liquid lock. because we just have to do this. Congrats, Jane, on catching the polywag. No. Yeah, no. You're not taking that pearl. Ruby, no. Why am I not able to click up? There we go. I should build a lid on top of this so they can't get in here. Ruby. No, I should also just do this. Sweep biome and then find where that other pearl is. No, we don't need these. Did I just say that it ate zinc ore? Oh, picked up zinc ore. Okay. We're not too far off from finishing the research. It looks like Otto is almost done the regular research. Nicola, for some reason, is helping with the other research. I don't want Nicola doing that. I want them doing food. But it looks like they finished all the food that they could do. Can we eat Paku treats? No, they actually are food for the Paku. Well, then we're not going to keep making these. I thought that it wasn't that way. We do have some Paku in here, so I'm going to drop them in there. Although we could probably feed them... Come on. We feed them to any other fish? No, it's just Paku. Okay. Let's look at this. We get some refined iron. Duplicate skills. We should have a few people. Yeah, improved farming. Or improved carrying. Let's do the improved carrying, because we don't really need anyone higher than improved farming 1. Grilling. You are a secondary researcher, so that's why you were doing the research. You don't have swimming, so let's put you in swimming. Our researcher is 100% done now, because we're not doing the other 2 research things. And we'll put you in Dive Master. And you're getting a little damage, so let's do this. Get rid of you. I had a feeling that there's carbon dioxide in here stopping this from... So can I have this done now before it breaks? We finished the research. Should just queue up as much as I can. And then we start getting to that. That's all I have, so let's cancel this. Cancel there. Now I have a little bit more. So that's what we'll hold off on building, because I want to make sure that we save some from up here. Or up here, I mean. Still building out this side, but we can now start deconstructing that. We don't want to deconstruct this. And I also need to dig over a little bit more because I misplaced those two tiles. Oh, they can't get in there. Let's deconstruct that, then they can build that. I was wondering why they weren't finishing it all. And all this prep is just to get one step closer to doing the aluminum. Which I should probably do, and then worry about the others. So 10 pieces of aluminum. Now we can get in here and fix those wires and then block this off. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. I'm just going to end up moving this over one tile. If we could get around to doing this, that'd be nice. Although we are still making the iron. Try to dig these two tiles out without getting stuck. Awesome, they didn't get stuck. Then I'll have these queued up next, which might actually get people stuck, so I'm going to actually hold off on that. We have some new aluminum, so I'm going to queue up the radiant pipes we can't build yet. Get all the way over to here. Rubber tiles. Provides an anti-slip work surface and effective insulation. That's pretty cool. So I guess we are still going to be working on doing the power lines. Because we need, yet again, another bit of science that I forgot to do. However, getting these done. You know, I just realized we haven't done a single prediction today. We should probably start doing them. So in the top left corner, this little blue button, is that going to give us a pair of tops, bottoms, buildings, decorations, or wallpaper? You guys have 10 minutes to decide, starting now. And in some time after 10 minutes, we will take a look at it. Let's do all these little bits. So I know we have enough for that. It'll still break the bridge, but at least it won't be the water. Want iron and aluminum. I doubt it's another skill point we want. Nope. Okay. They did all the pipes or all the wires in here, so let's sweep up all that stuff. And then we're going to start building this back in. One tile at a time. We have our first research thing done for insulated pipes and the reservoir. Also get a little bit of automation with the hydro sensor. That's all built in. We do that tile, and then the one under it. We get even further. And then we can break this open. We are going to come out one more tile. You know what, let's actually cancel that. Deconstruct those tiles. Build that one. And that one, I suppose. We have another regular pod. We'll take the curative tablets. See how much of this I can do. Nice. You connect that all the way up. Is there a way I can get the tile so I can see how much water it is? Okay. And we now have the research for the insulated tiles. Or insulated pipes, I mean. Let's grab this, of course, aluminum. And I want to do all of these as radiant pipes. And then because we have insulated pipes, let's do all of this in sandstone. You know, I don't know why I built this tile there. We need to deconstruct that so we can get in here. Wait a minute. I need that built. We're gonna put, oh, not a ladder right there, a ladder right here. You got in here, but you're gonna get stuck. Yeah. What are you doing? There we go. They got all the wires done, so let's sweep up all the debris. And we're just slowly cleaning up this area. We're gonna make this a pool of water, just in a more simplified and cleaned up way. The bridge completely broke. That's fine. I forgot to keep doing this. Don't know why there's a gas there, so let's build a tile in there so we can deconstruct it to get rid of the oxygen. Oh, it's because the bloater is there. Let's cancel this then. Kill the bloater. And we actually want to get in here from a different angle, it seems. Because we want to deconstruct 3 tiles from here. So I'm going to want 3 tiles here. If I get in here... I'm not sure. let's take a quick restroom break, and then I will be right back. And we're back. So what I was worried about is if we get in here, we're gonna have to dig this tile if I want to keep the waterweed. Which means that the liquid in this is going to drop down into here. Which I guess is somewhat okay. We'll just have to lower this liquid lock down a little bit further, which is fine. That's the next step there. I am going to need to build some ladders. And then go down probably a few tiles. Let's go down to the waterweed, but not right there. This was done, so let's build that. Deconstruct that one ladder. Continue building this over. Luckily they used the stilt stone to get that in there. And I just destroyed some liquid. Oops. Is that gonna break the liquid lock? I don't think it will. Plus, in a moment, we're not gonna need it anyway. There we go. Technically, right now, we no longer need a liquid lock at all. So all of this, I kind of want it to be in the smallest arrangement that it can be in. Oh, I forgot we have to get down in here. Which we can actually get into from this. Hi, Mama. Since when do you come upstairs? Pretty girl. The cat that gave birth to my kitten usually doesn't come upstairs, but now she is. What are you doing? Hi. Come on. Come on. What are you doing? Come on. I'm guessing she wants a little snack. You want some treats? I give you some treats. Let me give the mama cat some treats. I should probably not have this paused. You like this? Your son's gonna come running when I open this. Fortunately for her, the little one did not come upstairs. So she's able to eat those in peace. Let's keep going down this. I'm going to go over, I think, 2 more blocks. You know, I had a feeling that was going to overflow a little bit. So we won't do anymore. Alright, that gets down to there. We probably... Oh, this is too much water. I'll put that tile there so that they don't have to keep jumping down to get up here, or get in here. And what I'm going to do over here so that carbon dioxide can leave is put an airflow tile, now that we have it unlocked. Bulbasaur is not stuck, thankfully. Let's try and sweep up all this debris, just to get it out of here. And let's do our first prediction of today's stream. We have 30 points in wallpaper, per usual. So let's see if we get wallpaper. We got more boots. So this is another pair of bottoms. I want to say that bottoms is probably the most common thing that we get. We get a lot of clothing because there's more options for clothing than the other three groups. But I think out of clothing, we get a lot of boots and socks. And we'll start the next prediction in 20 minutes. A tiny bit before the next hour. Let's do a regular pod. We'll grab some lettuce. And I want to sweep up all the stuff. How much pearl do we have? Why is there... Oh, that's 0.1 kilogram. So that's the 0.1 that's right here. We really have 50 from one... Okay, so one clam makes 50 kilograms. So that's what we want this to be. And then... we'll finish sweeping that up in just a moment. So now we shouldn't have a pressure issue with these, so we can actually get rid of all this stuff. We never actually ended up using it. This was a just-in-case thing for if it kept getting pressurized out here before I found out that the corals were the reason. How are we doing on the aluminum front? Not too bad. Let's do a little bit more power. We are actually not doing more power. So I think this bridge completely broke and they haven't come over to fix it. So let's deconstruct it. And then we'll put back the same type of bridge in its place. So that they continue to repair a low-quality bridge. Our food, on the other hand, is something we're lacking. So let's come in here and just kill off all of those. And just so I can make sure that they can get in here and out of there, we'll put one ladder in the middle. Hopefully that will hold us over for a little bit longer. What's this? Oh, that's the stuff from the door. have all of that. Let's get all of this. We should now be doing more iron, which we are. With that, we can go straight across here and have that completely finished in. And we just have to worry about getting into here. This is a vacuum now that we don't have that fish in here. We need this wall here, which means that we need to first deconstruct that so I can get this liquid down there. But then we're going to build tiles here. We're going to need another set of 3 tiles right there, which is actually going to turn into 4 tiles. You know what, just because this is taking a while, I want to make sure that we don't grab the pearls from down there, and then I'm going to turn this off of sweep only. Yeah, we haven't done the power lines down there, so I'm not going to sweep that up yet. I will, however, sweep up all this. And clothing should be a thing that we're sweeping. What was that other thing that was not queued up? Was that liquefiables? Medicine. Liquefiables is one of the things, but I also want medicine picked up. So we'll copy that over. We haven't done this area, so we can sweep this up. Which I am going to queue up, just so that the roof of this is a little bit cleaner. Then we have this whole area, this whole area. We also want to keep building this in. They now broke that off, so I can put this back off of sweep only. And just max that out. Now the extra salt water is coming down here. I'm going to dig all of that just so that we can fit more tiles of water in here. I'm gonna give them a minute to do all these power lines, because I don't know if we have these extra 2 pieces yet. Does seem like we do. And that's all of the iron we have. It's already filled in the tiles we just dug out. And the bloaters are ready to be killed. It looks like all of the pearl in here is taken care of. Right time to deconstruct that. I'm hoping that the pearl number does not raise from 1300. There's 3 more fish fillets for us to use. Our pearl number did not raise. So we can actually get rid of all this. That will mean that our water is now over on this side. I'll let that sit for a while. This still kind of has the ability to get water. I'm actually going to place it right here. And dig those out, make sure that the water rises and goes where we want it. Hoping that if I do it this way, the salt water will push the water upwards. There is a lot of polluted oxygen here from all this. Let's try and block that off from happening more. So this should be slowly draining. It is, and then it's slowly coming over here. Regular pod, wood seed. Hey, baby. The little one finally came upstairs and found out that his mother was up here. His mother was not amused. Alright, did we finish all of this? It looks like we did. So if I follow this up to here, we do that. We do 3 tiles here, one of which has to turn into a ladder. We should be able to go all the way around as a spiral to get in here. Think I can do all of that? I can't. So let's cancel all of this. That gets us majority of the way there, but not all the way. I technically don't need those 2 ladders. I think I will tell them not to do that. So they're not spending more time in an area that they can't breathe in. How are we doing on food? We're doing it okay. But not great. I could alternatively break this one tile and have them come through here, but as they walk more and more in through this, it's going to move the liquid, which means that a gas can come in here. No, I don't want that to happen. On the other hand, we never attacked this bloater, which can make oxygen in here. We apparently can't do that one tile, so if I dig right here, we should be able to. Yep, now we can actually do that. Sweep all this debris. Then we start building it back in and opening it out back the way it was. Build one tile there, then we break the ladder, and then we start building up more. Meanwhile, we don't have enough for this. And to go a little bit to the left. Maybe a little bit more than I thought. You know what? I cancel that. We can just queue up the remaining of this. Queue up another 10 kilograms of aluminum because we're still building this. Temperature is slowly rising. By the time we get the aluminum and get in here, we're probably not going to have much cooling temperature to use. I'm gonna tell them to do this more on a higher priority than the others. Okay, then we deconstruct that ladder, we pick up the debris. Then we place in the 2 tiles that need to be placed in that area. And we have salt water coming across here again, so let's cancel this. Deconstruct that and mop up all the stuff. One more tile to go over here. And it looks like we only need to do 2 more orders of iron. So if I queue it up like that, we shouldn't make more than we need. We're almost done filling this out. When we're done doing all the conductive wires, we are going to need 25 kilograms left over so that we can do one more line in the middle here, which we now have. Let's do that. And then deconstruct this. Everything should be fine. There shouldn't be any lower tier wires on here. Our next issue is going to be the fact that anytime we have to build more power onto our network, we're going to have to use the conductive wires. Another thing I'm thinking of doing is taming another one of these tidal springs so that we have the exact amount of power being produced for us to use the metal refinery. So I think we're going to come over here and try taming this. So I'm going to start building tiles in there and also over here. You know, I can put the turbine on here now. It's not going to hurt us to do it now rather than later. So let's try doing just 5 more orders of iron and see if that gets us close. This can go back to being salt water. I should probably put a tile right there so that when this surges upwards, it doesn't go over. It'll make more sense later. We're going to use this water to fill in that. Which does mean that I have to somewhat reinvent how we're getting down here. Regular pod. Nothing I want. Let's do a prediction. Is the next prediction, or the next blueprint in the top left corner, going to give us tops, bottoms, buildings, decorations, or wallpaper? You have 10 minutes to decide, starting now. This is our second of 3 predictions for today's stream. How hot is this water again? Not too hot, honestly. And this area is done with that. So we won't need any more of those. Only one ladder right there if we want to come across here. Actually, no, we need that ladder too. Alright, that's done. We're slowly building through here. What is 8 tiles from here? 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. That's going to be a top tile, so we want this area dug out. I'm going to have to be careful not to move this sand as I'm digging through here. And this person requires pearls. So we could start giving them our excess pearls now that we don't need them for building. I think I will do that. I'm going to deconstruct this. Once they dig these 3 tiles, we should be in here. Meaning that I can go like this now. Which will prevent the water from rising up that way. So let's build ladders going all the way down just to make sure that we have a way to get down there. We could then mop up all of this stuff because we know that nothing's going to come through here. Didn't mean to cancel the tiles. Still doing the aluminum. We should have enough iron for the power lines. We do. So I'll add that, and that'll give us some amount of power. Let's try to get rid of all that debris. If I start putting tiles here, we may be able to not get gases in here as I build upwards, which I'm going to start doing now. Which means I actually No, we'll be fine. So now we should be getting enough power at one time to run the metal refinery. Aluminum. Looks like we need another 2. Because each one of these takes 50 kilograms, so we need at least 200 kilograms. And then that means we can close this off and hopefully keep some of the heat or some of the cold in here. Which means the next step is plumbing the area. So now if we're lucky, when the water rises, it pushes the gas to the right and doesn't become a block there, which it did. Unfortunate. For us, at least. Since we're doing it this way, we shouldn't have to make a liquid lock, because we're essentially building a liquid lock around what we're doing. That reaches the top point, but we're going to suck up most of it. So I should move this to being up here. Ah, we are starving. Let's do 20 cooked seafood. Hopefully that will stop us from starving. There we go, Ruby's fine now. Deconstruct that. Build one tile there, then we'll build up here so we don't delete that salt water. Okay, now is when we just start building upwards around the side of this to make sure that it's blocked in on the sides. And that no gas will get in if we do this correctly. There is a little bit of carbon dioxide, so hopefully when this fills up, it'll flow into there and push the carbon dioxide out. Or it makes an infinite liquid source. Oh, there it goes. It just took a minute for it to change. Eventually we're going to get to the point where this water doesn't lower past that tile. Oh, it's already at that point. Do that there, this tile here, that creates a liquid lock. And then we start deconstructing going downwards to drop this liquid. Okay, for a second I thought we had a gas block in there, but it was a vacuum instead. No one should be starving. We have cooked seafood, just go eat the cooked seafood. Nothing from here, please. So are these starving slowly? They are, okay. So the longer that they're there, they should be starving. Let's start doing a delivery here. Let's try and get that story trait done. Okay, so that definitely is a vacuum. This is also a vacuum, which should be filling up. Same thing over here. This should go up another tile. We delivered the pearls. My duplicates harvested 200 kilograms of pearls to offer to our potential future crewmate. We now have one new gasket and two full coral seeds to use as needed. They flew away or swam away, so now we come back to this one. I don't remember what they need. Sushi roll, and quite a lot of it. We're gonna wait until we have sushi rolls actually available to give. Right now we don't have them available to give. Make sure to sweep out this debris so it doesn't accidentally fall in here. And then I think we're ready to close this off. Why are we on slow speed? I'm gonna do something over here to get rid of all of this polluted water. Actually, no. I don't know why I did it that way. Keep that there. Right here should be polluted water. Enable auto bottle, get rid of water on it. then they should be able to come up here and start using that for the water. For the polluted water. Right, now we start bringing this over. Apparently they use too much sandstone here. That's all the sandstone I have. Yeah, we can also come in here and block this off now. And guys, this is more important than pipes. Now I need to figure out where I want these pipes to flow. And I think just a simple loop of through here, up, and this way, and then loop back down. There's another bloater. I don't know how we're still getting them. It seems like they're not dying. Unless they just make that many eggs. That's a Pacu egg. That's a sequin egg, that's fine. We will at some point in the future come down here and get all this aluminum ore. I wonder if allowing them to breathe gives them food. It doesn't, but it gives them happiness. So they're not eating the air in a little bit. They just enjoy consuming oxygen. Temperature up here seems to have gone down a little bit. Let's figure this out one step at a time. We're gonna go across here and up. This one's gonna go across here, up this way. All the way up to this. This is gonna go down. One, two, three bridges. This needs to come across here, then go straight up into this. And then across here, where instead we're going to go up at the plants, and then I guess just down here and over. And that's that all connected in. We're gonna need to get into here from this. That's probably sand. It is. That's the gist of recording it. And then we can do the math on our cooling loop, our aluminum that we need for the cooling loop. Hopefully this is going down over time. We have our next prediction ready. So let's see what our prediction is. We have another 30 points in wallpaper. Hopefully it's wallpaper. And it's another pair of clothing. And this time it's tops. So unfortunately, I'm stealing your points. We'll do the next prediction, or start the next prediction in about 20 minutes at the half-hour point. Our first step with this is to fill the cooling loop and cool down the liquid within it. So we should probably take a bridge and just use salt water. I don't think it's the best water to use for this, but it's the thing that we have the most of. I mean, we do have ethanol. Probably not a lot. What is this? Did we look at this? I don't think we did. Hot polluted oxygen vent. No. Bad. Right. We have about 1,600 extra food. Right now we have enough food for 2 days. 2.5 days. We, of course, are going to take this salt water. It kind of looks like the salt water is not pushing up the regular water. Because this is no longer draining. So I think we might want to do the build a tile, deconstruct a tile. That will make the salt water fill in that space. I'm also debating on deleting the trees and then adding them back in so that they're all in the same time frame. I'm gonna do that real quick. Oh, not this one though, because it's close to finishing. (97% of 10 cycles) means that it's on the last the last 2% of a cycle. So by the time it gets to the third quarter of the day, this should be finished. It does still have water in it. Okay, so that made the water go up. If we deconstruct this, the salt water should take its place. It did. Awesome. Then we do the same thing right here. Actually, you know what? Let's cancel that. I want to see if I can make a pool of water that I can pick up and move over here. Are there any plants down here? No, there's no plants down there. So we could effectively lower this and add a secondary pool up here for just water. I'm gonna get that set up. How are they doing on the pipes? Did they finish them? They finished everything that's not on the outside of the base, so they still have to do this portion. Quick seafood. Running a little bit low on fish. Let's do another culling of some of the fish here. We have a bloater over here. Let's do a count on how much aluminum we're going to need. So we have this, that's 12 tiles. We also want to at least cool down this area. Just 25 tiles. And then I would assume also right here there's a 19 tiles, which luckily equals an even number. And then we need to times that by 50. That's how many kilograms per tile. 2,800. Which is 28 cues of aluminum. Which we actually can't do. Because we don't have enough aluminum for that. We have 18... We're down 1,000 kilograms of aluminum. Is there a way for me to find aluminum? Here. That's iron. We have cobalt down here. We have uranium ore is the orange. Zinc is the light blue. Aluminum is more of an orange. That's more iron. Aluminum ore is up here in the tree biome. So if we come up here and just start digging out that, this, and majority of that, we should have enough with just that. We have enough aluminum that we can start doing this. But what I'm gonna have to do to queue it all up while we're still making it is to go like this. And just tell them to make everything out of aluminum until we get to that point. And then we cancel the stuff we don't want made out of aluminum. So this should be 25. And we had 19 up here. Okay. This is already at -1. It is heating up pretty quickly. I'm guessing that we stole quite a bit of cool air from in here. That's just because the liquid going in is at 30 degrees. I'm gonna guess that there's no small pockets in here, so let's get rid of this liquid bridge. This is going to be water. This is not going to have water. This needs to be deconstructed. Because this is going to go right here, and it's going to soak up all the water. Oh no, what I'm going to be doing to build the water out of here is to just add tiles where the water is. We're going to push the water all the way over here. Then we're going to drop the liquid of salt water down a little bit until we get to this point. So let's start making that. This will drop the salt water down as we're building over. That's the queen is going to get stuck in there, or not. Probably want a way to get down here just in case. So we should have salt water on the bottom. We have a little bit of water right there for some reason, so let's build that. We do have some salt water right here. Okay, we can turn this to be enable auto bottle. And I just want to push this water over to here, which I think we can squeeze it all into there in this one tile. I won't know until we get to that point. Like some squash fries, free food is good food. Also move this little bit of mucin to right there. So it's all in the same area. We do have a little bit of mucin that we can still mop up. So that should have added into the mucin that I have, but it didn't. It actually became two different bottles. Surprised by that. Okay, let's keep moving this water over. I'm actually going to stop this from being auto bottle, because I think they'll take a lot of water from here. We are at some point going to block off being able to get down here for a little bit. We should be fine though. Once we build a tile right here, we'll deconstruct this one and be able to go from this pole to the ladder. The first thing we're going to do is dig up this entire area here. We're actually not doing too bad. So let's actually deconstruct right there and build in these last two tiles. Which means we can deconstruct that. We can turn this back on to enable auto bottle. Put the ladder back in, dig this out, which should move the salt water down a little bit. So there should be no water mixed in with this, which there is not. Next thing I want to do is build a wall right here to make sure that we don't drop the liquid outside that. Welcome in, first time chatter, Stinger's Playground. I'm doing pretty well. We're doing, I want to say some base cleanup stuff. Things I don't really need to be doing. We are still trying to make aluminum to do iridium pipes to cool down our area. The plants are already cooled down enough that they are able to grow completely, so we should be making enough food, or enough sushi for our dupes. If we want to do this, we're gonna have to put in maybe 2 or 3 more mealwood plants. And that'll make sure that we have enough food for our dupes and that person. Renewable salt water will require cooling. For right now, no. We're doing okay with this small amount of salt water that we've had since the beginning. We haven't actually needed to get in the saltwater geyser, although we do have one at the top of the base. So this does need to be cooled because it's 95 degrees. But I haven't gotten to the point of needing that. Let's dig this out and see if that'll drop the salt water down to this point, where we can then put the tiles in here to keep this water separated. Okay, we dropped it 1 tile. Those corals, when domesticated, take a lot of salt water, which I had pit plants in. They do take some salt water, but I haven't needed enough. They take 2% of a total pipe per cycle. So if you have 5 of them like we do, it will take 1 packet of water per day, which isn't too much. If you had a lot more, then you would need them, but you only need 2 coral plants per 3 duplicates that you have in order to make the amount of oxygen they consume. We actually had to turn off these 3 because we overpressurized the area. And this should be salt water, right? So if we start putting in a tile here, we should separate the water from the salt water. I just want to make sure that salt water doesn't come up here as we're doing it. Otherwise, I would just queue up all these to be built. We do have a little bit of water over here along with some mucin. Actually, they can't get any of the water over here. And this bottle is why we have this ladder. One thing I do think we're going to need is put a bunch of those in. Move this over to here. And then debate on how I'm going to separate the water here. I don't think I will separate it, actually. I want this here so that we can mop up all of this water. Should probably deconstruct that. And let's get in here and kill this bloater. How are we doing on food? We have 28 pieces of fish fillet, we have 5 pieces of squash fries, and about half a salty stick. We have a lot of lettuce. Lettuce is edible for us. We're not making it into anything else. Oh, I forgot that we were moving the trees around. Let's dig out that tree so we can replant it so that all 3 of our trees are at the same time frame rather than them being offset by a few cycles. We're now flashing this so that we can get more gas pressure, it seems. Gas pressure up here. Actually, no, it's just the polluted oxygen's messing up with the pressure. Tiny amount of polluted oxygen up here. Alright, let's get our 3 trees planted here. 4 seeds are over here at least. I don't know if there is a 5th seed down here. But either way, they planted it all. Let's sweep up that tree seed. Actually, no, let's keep the tree seeds over here. Doesn't seem like there's salt water being pushed in here yet. Let's build 2 more tiles. There's the salt water I was expecting to be up here. Let's cancel that one. We need to get rid of at least 2 tiles. So that this one tile drops, and when we build in these 2 tiles, it doesn't fill in again. Where are you taking that water? Oh, into here. Okay. Wait a minute, you shouldn't be making light loaf out of water. Should be making out of mucin. Mucin's right there. You don't even have to soak it up. You have the bottle. I'm confused. I don't know why they're doing it. Bang. Let's put that over to here. Dig that out. We'll be able to mop up all this, and this is about to drop the next tile. If I build another tile, it shouldn't make another saltwater tile, but it might. Because these have kind of equalized right here. So this is going to make another tile. I don't wait. Let's tell them to dig 2 tiles over here then. They've almost built everything out here. It's time for us to tell them to mop up everything. Because they can reach everything up to where they built without needing this next piece. So we have a bunch of mucin, we can move them around. Relocate that with the other bottle. And then there's only this little tiny packet right here, which I might be able to mop? No, you can't mop on top of a pitcher pump. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to try and separate the water over here from the salt water. I'm going to build a tile right there. That'll stop the water from going up and into that as we build over this way. So this one should push the salt water down. Might not be able to get in there. Actually, we can. That should push the water up. Pushed it over. We don't want that. Yeah, now the mucin moved over a little bit, so let's try and soak up that mucin. Relocate this to here. Relocate this bottle to here. Place another tile for the water. That's going to make this go up a tile. I dug out the 2 tiles from over here, so I think we're okay with placing in 2 tiles. And I think it's time for us to do our 3rd and final prediction of today's stream, or at least start it. We will open the prediction at the end of the stream. But in the top left corner, a little blue button, is that going to give us another pair of tops, bottoms, buildings, decorations, or wallpaper? You guys have 10 minutes to decide, starting right now. And a little bit of salt water did end up coming in. So if I can click on the right thing, we'll deconstruct that 1 tile, have that drop down. And then build it back in. Hopefully it doesn't do something weird. Awesome. Let's pick up all that debris. This will now be our water pool that will slowly increase over time. And over here, we just need to put in 1 more tile, and then this is all blocked off from the salt water. Let's deconstruct this so we can get into here for any reason. And that is all blocked off. Although we don't need radiation science, I do want to keep this being used. And our base is slowly going to get cooled down. This area is slowly getting heated up. We may want to start getting into this one. I'll save that for the next stream. What we're going to do right now is we're going to finally get down into here and grab the snails that are still here. Great. For a second, I thought we didn't have the snails. So let's figure out how I'm going to get in here, because this is going to be a very hot environment. And I want to do it in a way that we're not going to release this natural gas. So I think we want to go from right there. That should create a liquid lock. Keep the gas in. We need ladders to get across. Apparently, I don't have a deerling at all. If we go straight up, that's probably our best bet. And then dig into there. We could just go straight across here. Let's get to there for that. Grab this. And how much food is in this area? Not a lot. So we'll just dig into here from this side. What do you got? Let's go like that and get to huck some fruit. Quick check of wild plants. Make sure we can grab everything. That's queued up. Even if we can't reach it, I want to make sure that it's queued up for being auto-harvestable. What is that? Oh, this is more of the squid biome. That's how we will be getting our plastic in the future. Get a bunch of eggshell from the pips. Which I'm actually going to build a door to keep in, hopefully. Now they can't escape. Now I'm gonna make a way for gas to go through this area a little bit quicker. Oh, we found the third duplicate. They want caviar. Caviar is the stuff from the squids, isn't it? Or is that the eggs? I forget. It can be milked for squid ink. That's not what I'm looking for. Calamari is what the squids give us. Caviar we get from something else. I want to figure it out before someone tells me. We did look at it. I know caviar is fish eggs. I forget how it's made. And I don't want to look it up in the book. I think I might have to. Let's look it up. Caviar is made from uvaline, which is from the seahorses. In the gleaner, it makes mucin, carbon dioxide, and a little bit of caviar. He finds Brekine in some brine and Brackwest. So the gleaner, that's not what I want to click on. The gleaner is in the final tier food thing up here. That's the gleaner. That's going to take a lot of research. And it's also going to take some data banks. So we actually do need a researcher to go into a new thing. Ruby, I'm going to let you finish pyrotechnics. And this one, we need them to be able to do the data, the virtual planetarium. So they are now completely done. We might as well give them the data analysis helmet. Our cook We could get them into doing applied science research. I think I am going to. Can capacity, and then we'll start getting them into improved farming too. And that should be it for most of them. Ruby just needs 2 more skill points. Otto is done. Nicola, 3 more skill points. Bubblezar, 1 skill point. So they'll be done fairly soon. Let's look in this pod. We'll take the clam pum seed, even though we don't need seeds for anything. This is getting quite emptied out. At some point in the future, we will be mopping this up and taking away the water from the water reed. So in preparation of re-watering that, I will go like this. That'll make the water level rise to at least this level here. Up here, it looks like it's getting emptied. We actually went down 1 layer of polluted water. Right, down here, the first thing I want to do is relocate this to here, if we get the ability to do so. And then in the next stream, we'll look into arranging the glow squids. The pin pocket. I'll look into the thermal gas fusion, but it creates natural gas. Although we could get a refined amount of sulfur from it. Maybe I do use this for power. There's a little bit of lead down here too. If I take a look at this, it needs the marine drill. The marine drill, I can't actually tell where it's at. It says robotic tools. I'm gonna assume it's like an end game research. Meaning data research. Is this it? No, it's a mission control station. I did not immediately see it. It's right here. So it's actually mid-game science. It only takes the supercomputer. Okay, we'll have that going in the next stream. Alright, we have the oil refinery, the petroleum generator. We're not going to be using either of those. Do I put a pole over here just to get down here quicker? I think our main thing is to get out of here quicker. Although this area isn't too extremely hot. That's a natural gas generator. And I doubt that this is going to make a lot of natural gas. The one egg hatched, so we don't have that egg anymore. And I don't think that these are going to die if I have them in a temperature that's not preferred by them. The probability of a Slago egg rises when they're below 60 degrees. But I don't think that they're going to die if they're not in 60 degrees. Their livable range is 35. Okay, so we do need to put them in a slightly hotter environment. So we probably don't want them being ranched right here right away. This is only 30 degrees. We're going to want them somewhere like right here. Temporarily. So how big of a room did I make here? 52 tiles. Can't see the dig command. There's the 52 tiles. We're going to cancel that one. And we're going to move this stuff down here. We're about to break in here, causing this not to be a vacuum anymore. That heat should be escaping. It already was, because there's a break in abyssalite somewhere. Where the abyssalite here is, that's abyssal, actually. There is a break in the abyssalite. So this area was already heating up. We're gonna need a small amount of mucin, so we're gonna need that pedestal trick again. Just so that we can get 4 small bottles of mucin. Now this should have hexaline fruit. So anything else that is non-perishable. Doesn't seem like it. Fried mushrooms should probably be in there. Barbecue should be in there. We haven't discovered any of the other meat. Up here. Apparently the Gilgo baby doesn't have an icon for it. Find that funny. Right here we want liquid mucin. 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 That's going to separate the large bottle into smaller bottles that won't make as much of a mess. And research-wise, we're only 2 researches away from having this done. We will have to start doing the uranium ore into research pretty soon. We're gonna do that for an infinite amount of critters. And I want to make sure that they have food. Rex? Oh, right, because I have the other thing involved. I'll have this on sulfur, I'll have it on a 7. I'll put as much food as it can hold because sulfur does not go bad. And the reason why I want the other one is, I think, for their malts for lime. Apparently a sligoo eaten by a Rex will make brine ice. If we need a gold amalgam, we would stay ranching the guild gome. The slagoos, or slagos, also give us mucin instead of obsidian. So we might want to do a ranch of the other ones down here. We do have more over here in case we end up killing off all these critters. I'm gonna add 4 more of these. And possibly do the research on how many of those we need. They are the oxyferns. I've never done the math on an oxyfern. I actually can't even see what it does. So if I look over here, if I look at this instead. It looks like it might be 1 per dupe. I got over to the slugs. Now, if I look at the tublias, they require sulfur and they need either polluted brine or regular brine. Don't think we have a brine source, but we at least have a lot of polluted brine here. And I just broke one by accident, not realizing that we're building a ladder on top of them. A little bit of diamond up here. That's exciting. 10 pockets, what do you need? Atmosphere of a liquid. What do they make again? Uni, which is food. But they can be processed into diamond. How do you process them into diamond? In a rock crusher. Okay. So if we need diamond, we can do that, or we can use that as a food source. We'll probably use it as diamond if we get into doing them. So this should be correct size. That's 48. Up here, is this also 48? Yes, it is. copy this over to here, even though I don't think we have 4 seeds, we might. And with those automated messages, we have now hit our 4-hour mark. I'm going to hope that after they do these seeds, we should be good to end the stream. Let's get this lettuce. Now, we have a few idle dupes. So I'm guessing we don't have more seeds. It does say no seed available. But now we can get in here, grab all those new things. And we're gonna relocate these snails. Not yet. Cancel that. Did I not select mucin on this? Looks like I didn't. Let's relocate this to here. I'm going to tell them to do this at a 6 so that they put the next thing of mucin on there. There we go. Relocate this to here. This to here. This to here. Because the snails need to be in a liquid. But they don't need a lot of liquid. Right? Did it even say how much liquid it needs? They also leave large amounts of mucin in their wake. Oh, they also make mucin. We could just ranch these guys. Because it's either get lime or get gold and obsidian. I'll have to think about that when we're not streaming. How are we doing on food? I haven't checked in a while. We have a little bit of hexalin fruit. We have a little bit of sushi rolls. We have about 2 cycles of fish or salty sticks. We have a lot of lettuce. I'm moving the mucin now, so let's start emptying them. I'll do them one at a time so that they don't mix into one tile. Okay, that is a prepared area to get the regular sloggos, which I think we will do since we have more snails over here. We can use them to ranch the other stuff, the other critters. Which we could very easily do by using the space heaters to make a room that's 75 degrees hot. And that should make their chances of a guild go egg increase. Okay, so we're gonna end it here. In our next stream, we will do the ranching of them. So today's stream was more of a base cleanup stream rather than actually doing progression. So let's zoom out. We're gonna take a screenshot. because 2 days ago I forgot to take a screenshot. I want to do that before I forget. Let's do our final prediction. We have 1,000 points in tops, and only in tops. Let's see what we get. It is a pair of tops, so you're getting all your points back, whoever put points into the tops. Congratulations on winning. And all the points go to Oz. You know what? I take back the congratulations. Oz is not allowed to win on my channel and Willow's channel. Alright, now that we have that all set up and ready to go, let's save the game. Save and quit. And go into a raid out scene to find out who we are going to raid out to. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to catch me live, I stream on Twitch on Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 AM EST to 12:30 PM EST, and on Sundays from 10 AM EST to 2 PM EST.